What's going on YouTube, Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. The long-anticipated return of XDefiant is finally over. The server playtest session is here. So how does the game play? What is improved? Is the game better? Does it feel like it's ready to release? It's hard to say yes to any of those, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because the experience as it stands right now is very flawed. But let me preface this criticism by saying I'm still having fun. I'm still overall enjoying my time in XDefiant. Sure, there's frustrating elements and frustrating moments, and moments that make you want to throw your controller against the wall. But the core gameplay, when it is firing on all cylinders, is so enjoyable. It brings you back to that casual, arcade-style first-person shooter that it's trying to be. And you can recognize that. And you can recognize the effort to try to bring that pièce de résistance back. Something that we haven't had in FPSs in a long time. But oh boy, do you have to claw through a bunch of nonsense to get there. And while I am overlooking the nonsense right now, it might just be a honeymoon period. And like everything else in life, honeymoon periods come to an end. Maybe I'll see this game for what it truly is, a flawed disaster. And maybe disaster is too harsh, but when I look at the netcode of this game and the way the servers are performing, there's not a better word that describes the situation we're currently in. I mean, this is the main reason why the game hasn't been released yet, right? It's the fact that you guys are trying to get the netcode right. But nothing feels different than when we played the game back in the summer, and then when we played it again with the server test session last fall. So what have you guys been doing? I mean, I know that you had to rebuild the game from the ground up with the party system that you've been encountering and the flaws with the anti-cheat, but like, guys, can we be honest for a second here? Why is it so inconsistent? And that's the problem here. It's not that the servers are just bad. No, they're just inconsistent. Because when the servers are firing on all cylinders, the game is hella fun. It's so enjoyable. And that's the experience I want to capture, bottle it, and inject it directly into my veins. Because that's the experience that I've been waiting for. That's what got me so invested into first-person shooters. But then those moments come and go so quickly. Because you're immediately brought back to being shot around corners, inconsistencies in hit detection, lag or stuttering. And it's just something that breaks the immersion. And it's really disappointing. Because there's so much here of value. I know what this game's true potential is. I know what it can provide. But it's just not delivering it on a consistent enough basis. And that is the problem right now. All the other problems we're going to talk about in this video pale in comparison to the server issue right now and the netcode problems this game has. I really hope that this is the #1 focus moving forward and they get it resolved, because the game cannot release in its current state with its current netcode. It's just going to be DOA if that happens, and I don't want to see that for XDefiant. I still have high hopes for this game, but the casuals will not pick up a game that is this unreliable. They just won't. Now, speaking of unreliable, and this might just be a me problem, might just be because I'm bad, I don't really know, but the aiming in this game is atrocious. And it might be because there's less aim assist than what Call of Duty has. I don't really know. But oh boy, does it feel like I am just swinging back and forth and I have no ability to lock on enemies. But then, just like the server issues I've been having, there's moments where the aiming feels locked in and it feels as if the targeting is perfected. And I just have to think to myself, what the heck is going on? Now, part of it, I will admit, is a me issue. My gunfighting skills are nowhere near what I was like in my 20s. I can attest to that. I don't play video games as much as I used to. But man, does it feel unrewarding sometimes. And it feels as if you're battling the aiming system in this game. Again, this criticism could just be me. I know there are issues with people on mouse and keyboard. But again, it could just be me. So take that criticism with a grain of salt. Okay? Great, awesome. I'm glad that I could get that off my chest because it's been bothering me. Another thing that's been bothering me and kind of takes me out of the immersion of the game is the voice lines and the timing of them. Because there's moments where the voice lines they hit and they work, and other times it's like, way to go, you did great, and you just died for the sixth straight time. You're like, what? Something's not working here. And while it seems a little nitpicky, it seems like a small detail, it's those small details that make people just say, this game is flawed, or this game is unpolished, unfinished. And they put the game aside until a new update comes, until things are a little bit more polished. And yeah, it's showing the fact that the game is incomplete when the voice lines are delivered in such inconsistent manner. Like I said, it sounds nitpicky, but this is when we need to be a little nitpicky. This is when we need to be critical and be honest about our experiences. Speaking of honesty on the experience side, I know a lot of people have been talking about the sweat fest that the game is, and I totally agree at times. Yeah, it's going to be sweaty, guys. What do you expect? Do you expect all the casual players to just pick this game up and play it? Not going to happen. It's not a beta. The game has been delayed. There's very little hype for this test session outside of the XDefiant community because only the XDefiant community has been holding out hope for this game. And frankly, you're not going to get the casuals interested in a server test session. You're just not. Yeah, a few people might try it out here and there, but like their friends are playing Fortnite, their friends are playing Madden, their friends are playing this or that. They're not all flocking to XDefiant. The hope is that the game can improve enough over the next few months and from the feedback of this server test session that those casuals do play the full release when the game launches, because we as a community hype the game up. We tell everybody, hey, the game's great, and let's make it a really solid launch. So I'm not putting too much stake in the current state of matchmaking because I know the type of player that is currently playing the server test session. They're not your casual player. They're not my 13-year-old nephew. That's not what's happening. And I get it. 13-year-olds can be good at video games. But that kid ain't good at video games. And I'm sorry that you're catching strays in this video, but I just thought that I'd be able to encapsulate the type of player that I'm talking about. And lastly, the last thing I want to touch on is the bunny hopping that people are pissed about. They think it's silly, they think it's gimmicky, they think it should be removed. And while I don't think hopping should be removed, I think there is an element of skill in being able to execute the perfect jump shot. The issue I have is there's just something silly about seeing a bunch of players consistently hopping around the map, just boing, 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 boing. And I don't really know what else to say. Like, I know what its primary purpose is, to make the aiming tougher for you so you can't hit your headshots. And I get that, because headshots in this game are extremely important. But at what point is the mechanic just kind of silly and not really adding a depth to your gameplay? And that's where I feel where we're at with bunny hopping, is it just doesn't add an extra layer to the gameplay. It's just something silly and, pardon me, a little pointless. But those are my overall thoughts when it comes to XDefiant right now. I think the game at its core has extremely fun elements, and when it is working and when it's playing its best, it's an extremely fun experience, and you can see the vision that Ubisoft and Mark Rubin had for this game. But there are serious flaws with this game that need to be addressed before the game can even think about a full-scale release. But that's it for this video. I've shared my thoughts on XDefiant, and I'd love to hear yours. Let me know with a comment down below how you're feeling about XDefiant right now. And thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, can you please hit that like button? If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.